Hey dudes and dudettes, it's Trooper Collins here with a very different video. In the celebration of the 100 subscribers, I decided to do an interview with my little sis, Trish here. She's gonna ask me some questions, and you're gonna get to know me as a biker, and you're gonna get to know why I did the channel and a lot of different stuff like that. So, let's get going.
Woo! Okay, so I have some questions for you
Awesome.
about just you and your channel.
All
Let's just start it off. So, Trooper Collins, where did the name come from?
So, Trooper Collins, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a humongous Star Wars fan. And like stormtroopers are a big thing in Star Wars. They're like the
Oh, really? Huh?
they're the grunts of the Empire. And when I was still in the military, I was enlisted, and I was really big into like serving, and I thought that was kind of like a similar thing. Like, I'm in the military, they're technically a military, and so it started like that. And it started as an Xbox Live gamer tag when I was playing a Star Wars game where you could be the stormtroopers, and just like Trooper Collins, and it just felt right, and
Yeah.
it kind of just rolled off the tongue in a sense.
I like it. So who is Trooper Collins?
So Trooper Collins is a 27-year-old guy, just a city boy. Call him Boise home. This is what the backdrop. I've been into biking. Like when I was younger, I used to ride my bike with my best friend growing up, and we always had this bet to who's going to get a motorcycle first. So the biking concept has always been big for me. But it's just a homegrown boy, I guess you could say, just here in Boise.
There you go.
I guess that would sum it up.
So you were talking about getting, who would get your first bike. So what was your first bike?
So my first bike ever was a 1999 Kawasaki Ninja 250. Is a little black thing. I bought it off a guy for like $1,200. He had wrecked it before, but it was still it still worked. It was missing the speedometer cable. It was missing that. All the lights were broken on it because he had laid it down, but it worked. It started up so quickly. So it was like a first bike ever, kind of best situation for anybody to get a bike for the first time.
Yeah.
It never really had a whole lot of issues with it. It didn't have a fuel gauge though, which was kind of frustrating. Fortunately, I did not break down anywhere. But
That's good. I've broken down with you.
That's
your chain just flying off
That's
into
another
the distance, into the sunset.
All right, okay.
Called
This is
out.
an interview, not a roast session.
Sorry,
No,
bro.
you're not. No, you're not.
No, I'm not. So that was not your first. Haley was not your first bike, right?
Correct.
So who's Haley?
Oh, Haley. So the bike Haley
Yes.
was my first serious bike. I paid about $3,500 for the white Honda CBR 500, which you've seen at the very beginning of the channel, very older videos. That bike actually helped me through a lot of emotional stuff, like a lot of mentally draining stuff, because I was living in Wichita at the time, and I really missed Boise. I really missed being here at home, and like Haley helped me get through all that emotional stress, and I could be at work all day and stressed out, but as soon as I got home and I got on that bike, it was freedom.
How did you get her?
Oh, so I bought Haley from a guy for $3,500 back in 2018. It was September, I think it was. I had got a credit check from school when I was going to school down there in Kansas. I used the GI Bill, so I didn't have to use any kind of tuition grants or anything. So I got all the grants and scholarships were a credit check for me. I got like a $5,300 credit check,
Wow.
and all of it went to Haley because I bought it, registered her, and registered the Ninja back when I had it. Because at a point I had two bikes. I had the Ninja and Haley. Registered both bikes. Bought a new battery for Haley because the neon lights I had on it that came with it had drained the battery. Because there's so many times at night I would just turn it on and look at it. I wouldn't start the bike. I would just turn the electronics on. But and then I bought the new tires, and then soon $5,300 disappeared so fast into that bike. It was ridiculous. But credit check. I bought a motorcycle, and I have not regretted it at all.
I don't think you had any regrets with Haley. But
Absolutely
wait,
not.
how did her name come to be?
Okay.
Come to be?
Come to be.
Come about?
So, 8th grade Nick, there was this girl on the bus.
Yes.
And little
boy.
blonde hair, blue eyes. This woman was flawless in my eyes. Like, okay. And like her name was Haley, spelled the same way.
Okay.
We don't talk anymore at all. I haven't talked to her since I was a freshman in high school. I crushed on her for 2 years. Like, it was undying. Like,
Hear
I
that,
legit.
Haley?
She's not watching this. You know, but I crushed on her for 2 years. We rode the same bus, and like, she knew how I felt about her, and she just ran with it. She, you know, the old saying, like, you know, got friend zoned.
Yeah.
You know, and like, it happened, but you know, like, that's okay. But yeah, I just had a crush on her. Like, I would look forward, like every Friday night, I would be so upset that school was over.
Oh.
And I would look forward. My weekends, excuse me, would disappear because I'd look forward to school on Monday just so I could see her on the bus. And
That
I
is
just
so
I
sweet.
crushed on her for 2 years,
Oh.
and it just so ever since then that name is. It was like that first
kinda
dose
stuck.
of like, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like your first crush, your first love for
Oh,
your
yeah.
bike. Like, just it's a good name. It's a
Oh
good
yeah,
name.
it's very powerful first emotions for something, and it just the name Haley just means something to me now because of all that.
Right.
So
I heard you got a new bike.
I did.
So tell me about that one.
So I bought a new bike. After riding Haley for 2 years, I decided to get a new bike because, you know, she's a 500 top speed of 109, and I just like being a biker. You know, you kind of just you do like progress. No, that's not the word I'm thinking of. You do grow, and you want to expand. You know, and you want to go faster. Like a lot of bikers, they like to go fast. I just wanted something bigger, and so I got Bethany, my black Honda 2003 Honda CBR 600 RR. She was a track bike. She had no blinkers. She had a whole steering stabilizer on her to help her through the corners. Bought Bethany for about $41.35. I paid the shipping for them to ship it up from Texas too.
Oh wow.
So I paid like $38, something like that. My math's not adding up. It paid like $400 in shipping, so 30. It's like 41.
Put like the trig like meme behind you. Like,
So carry the one.
carry the one.
Y equals mx plus b.
So how did the name Bethany come
So-
about too? Come to be, come to about.
Come to fruition. Something. So when I bought the bike, I actually posted on Snapchat and you know, on the Trooper Facebook page and Instagram. You know, hey, I got a new bike. Got any ideas for names? And so the name Bethany does not mean anything. It did not mean anything prior to the bike.
Okay.
But some people had recommended Bethany, and like it just sounded like it fit, and so I just kind of stuck with it.
Nice.
It had no significance, but it just seemed to fit.
Yeah.
So.
So what's next for Bethany?
Bethany was stolen 2 days after my birthday in August. So fast forward a whole month later, I'm saving up for a new motorcycle, and then I get a call from Nampa Police, which Nampa is a few towns over. It's in the metro area. And they say, hey, this is Officer so-and-so with Nampa Police. Is this Nick Collins? I'm like, yes. Why are you calling me? He's like, I think I found your lost motorcycle. I'm like, oh my God, dude, absolutely. Bethany will be parted out. I'm selling the parts now. I got a guy who's wanted some of the fairings, and I'm going to take them to him today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just going to be parted out and then eventually sold as a frame.